Hi there, it's Stephanie again with Trillium Tarot. Thank you for checking out my newest video. I'm just going to take a couple of minutes and explain for tips how I journal my practice readings. After I took the initial tarot class, I decided I wanted to start recording what I was reading so that I could go back later to see if my reading was accurate or if I may have misinterpreted something. So I jumped on Amazon and I got a few of these little books. I also have one that has a moon on it, and I think one that has a sun on it, but this is the only one I had handy for this video. So when you open the book, it's designed for 3-card readings. So you look at the top of it, you list the time and the date and what the subject is, what your current mood is, write out what the question is, your cards, and the interpretations. So I did that for a few days, but it just really wasn't doing what I wanted it to do for me as I was trying to expand my tarot abilities, or practice is a better term. So I switched to just a regular spiral bound notebook. I did pay a little bit extra to get the pretty cover, but any type of spiral bound notebook would work. My very first entry in this one is March 31st. And you can see it was a 10-card spread. And I think it's kind of entertaining to look back and see that this brief paragraph here is all I got for my interpretation of understanding the cards and writing it out. So time passed. I can see that, just a week later, I dedicate a day, 1 page per day, to write out the reading. I write out the question, how many cards I pulled, and specifically where they fell in the layout. My descriptions have gotten longer. I used to spend like an hour and a half on one of these readings because I felt like I had to pay attention to every detail, and if I missed any bit of it, that I was going to be a failure as a tarot reader. If I'm reading about like a political situation, like this was about the election in France, I did my reading, and then later on I went back and recorded at the top what the results of the election were so that I can go back. I had a question about whether Sweden and Finland would join NATO, and I think it was the very next day that they submitted their application. So it's really nice to be able to go back and see that things are actually happening in the way that I read and interpreted within the cards. So, like I said, I'm seeing a funny note here. I make notes to myself, and this is all capital letters here. It says, "Good Lord, the Pentacle Court cards." So if I notice a significant theme that stands out in the middle of the reading, I'll make a note of that as well. One tip that might make your reading practice easier. Like I said, at the very beginning, I would spend like an hour and a half trying to piece the cards together into a coherent sentence, a coherent paragraph or description. And we talked about this in the tarot study group that I'm a part of. Since I am a beginner, I'm not going to master reading the tarot in just a very short period of time. So instead, what I've been doing is, as I write out the cards, you'll see instead of having one massive wall of text at the bottom of this journal page, you see a couple shorter ones. So I write out the question, what the cards are, and then this first paragraph is simply free association, as I am looking at the card in position 1. Okay, that means heartbreak. Position 2, that means nostalgia. I just write down the first thing or 2 things, 3 things that come into my mind when I look at that card. So I have this first section of my first impressions, and then in this second paragraph down here, that's where I try and piece more of the entire story together. And I have found that the readings have been a lot easier for me to comprehend, and they have not taken as long. I don't have to spend an hour and a half anymore. If I just focus on what the keywords might be for that particular card, and then just start chaining them together to get the entire story. So take that for what it's worth. This is how my journaling process has evolved to this point. I'm sure it'll change again at some point in the future, but I hope that you are able to take away something useful from that. For additional tips or other resources, or once I get to recording my show and tell videos of various tarot decks, please do visit my website, trilliumtarot.com. Thank you very much for watching this video, and stay tuned for the next one. Thank you. Bye.